Hello, everybody.
Good evening. Having to work out in a 96-degree day, I think I deserve a cold one.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we have so much to cover. So, hang on. We got a lot to cover.
Which is also we're also going to include covering the Watchtower article coming up for this coming weekend, which would be July 21st. It's the part 2. Well, now, actually, it says part 4 of 4 on the child sex abuse that's plaguing the Watchtower Babel Crap Society.
Yep, providing comfort for victims of abuse.
Right, comfort, yeah.
Now, before we get into this, I just want to thank Barbara Anderson. She sent me a link to a Supreme Court docket, and I'm going to put the link down below. On June 25th, 2019, Watchtower, New York filed petition for a writ of certiorari in the United States Supreme Court. The society asked to reconsider a $4 million judgment against it in a California child abuse case.
We all remember hearing about that.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to put the link down below to the docket, the petition, and the docket. The questions presented are: 1. Did California violate the First and 14th Amendments when it held the former national offices of Jehovah's Witnesses, Watchtower, responsible for the criminal act of a congregant during non-church activity? Number 2, did California violate the First and 14th Amendments when it ordered Watchtower to produce intra-faith communications regarding Bible-based religious appointment processes, and thereafter punished Watchtower for protecting the privacy rights of non-parties? Whether the 7th Amendment's guarantee of the right of trial by jury is incorporated against the states under the 14th Amendment. So that's some questions they're going to have to ask and settle that, aren't they?
Yes, there's a lot going on in the world regarding child sexual abuse, and it's even plaguing New Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, because I did something today that I haven't done in a very long time. I bought an Albuquerque journal. I just happened to be walking by and I seen Fighting for Victims of Clergy Sex Abuse. And it's like, oh, I've got to get that newspaper.
Yes.
And they've actually got, at least 2 or 3 articles on several pages. And I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But there's at least 2 full pages.
Yeah, it's a pretty lengthy article.
Not counting ads.
So, go ahead.
But I was going to say, also, on our local news, I mean, like Mike said, the news is just full of child abuse. Because also on the news, they reported that Jeffrey Epstein has a ranch here in New Mexico, and now it's being linked to the investigation with him and his child abuse and child trafficking allegations. So it's like, holy crap. Now it's interesting because I'm sitting here looking at the article and it's showing his residence here, his ranch here in New Mexico. And Mike said that it's up there not too far from the Scientology cult compound.
Not too far. As the crow flies, I'd say probably 10 miles maybe.
Yeah. Now, do we want to cover first what we're hearing, what happened at meetings yesterday?
Oh, yes.
Or the article next week?
Most definitely. Because what we're hearing, friends, is that the congregations are dividing.
Ooh, it sounds like it was almost some fights going on. Now, we know there are several who actually went to the meeting and got to answer questions. And
yeah, there's a YouTube channel
So the name of her channel is War on Watchtower, and oh my goodness, she has the heart of a warrior. Good job, sweetie.
Yes.
Amazing.
Keep up the
She
fight,
went in
everybody.
there and fearless. fearless.
Yes.
So that is great.
So why don't you tell them some more about what we've been hearing?
So haven't had much time to look at emails, but we've got some coming in, and I actually had a phone call. Thank you, sweetie. And it's like, man, I wish we would have been able to record this, what happened at their meeting. Now, apparently, this congregation, I'm not going to mention any names, or even a state, they have had problems in the past with child abuse, and many in the congregation know this. Well, during this Watchtower study, someone raises their hands and says, well, this is people posing as Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not really Jehovah's Witnesses, they're just bad people trying to infiltrate us. And someone immediately raised their hand and says, no, 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 no. This has been going on since the 70s, and we know about it, and it's been swept under the rug. Well, then apparently someone who is an Nazi officer, who is now a Jehovah's Witness, raised his hand and said, oh, well, what we used to do with these people is put them on the front lines. Yeah. Instantly dead. Well, apparently the Kobe got so flustered and upset, he went on a tangent and started telling everybody to be very careful about your comments and not to be so negative against the organization.
Well, here again, as ex-members, all of us have watched the Australian Royal Commission, and we all listened to Jeffrey Jackson having to admit that it's also the elders that have been responsible for perpetrating the child sexual abuse.
Now, do you recognize, Mr. Jackson, and in asking this question, let me make it clear, I'm not suggesting it's peculiar to the Jehovah's Witness organization. There are many, many organizations in this position. But do you accept that the Jehovah's Witness organization has a problem with child abuse amongst its members?
I accept that child abuse is a problem right throughout the community, and it's something that we've had to deal with as well.
And do you accept that it's presented, I withdraw that, do you accept that the manner in which your organization has dealt with allegations of child sexual abuse has also presented problems?
There have been changes in policies over the last 20 or 30 years where we've tried to address some of those problem areas, and by the fact that we've changed the policy would indicate that the original policies weren't perfect.
And you accept, of course, that your organization, including people in positions of responsibility like elders, are not immune from the problem of child sexual abuse?
That appears to be the case.
So for all of you Jehovah's Witnesses out there that think these are just imposters coming in, get your heads out of your own ass. Because this is not imposters coming in. Otherwise, Watchtower would not have an article, or 2 articles, or 3 articles, or part 4 of 4 covering child sexual abuse. If it was just imposters. If it was just imposters, Jeffrey Jackson at the Australian Royal Commission would have said, well, these are imposters. These are not really brothers and sisters. No, 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 no. You'll be able to clearly hear what your own governing body member, Jeffrey Jackson, is saying about the child sexual abuse. So at this point, we're going to start covering part 4 of 4 regarding Watchtower's acknowledgement of the plague of child abuse in the organization. Because reading through this article this morning, it's very, very sad how they try to offer comfort to those that are victims of child sexual abuse.
It's too little, too late.
Yes. So, again, it's going to be coming up July 21st. And, yeah, right. Song number 134, they're going to sing, Children Are a Trust from Jehovah. Right. Exactly. Okay, I'm going to go over to paragraph 4, and it states why comfort is needed. For some adults who suffered childhood abuse, comfort may still be needed even though many years have passed. Why? In order to understand, we must first realize that children are very different from adults. A child is often affected in ways that are quite different from the ways that an adult might be affected by mistreatment. Consider some examples. First of all, that is a BS statement. Why don't you, some of you sisters, raise your hand and talk about the effects of being raped by an adult male? And then try to compare that with a child. It's all the same thing, friends. It has the same lasting effects, whether you're a child or whether you're a woman, an adult woman.
Trauma is trauma.
Exactly. There should not be a differentiation between the two.
The only difference I could see is a child will not understand what is happening, whereas an adult would.
Yes. Yes.
A child is not going to know, that they are being raped, what is going on. They're not going to understand this fully.
Yes. So that's a good point. But the trauma is still it still has the lifelong lasting effects, even on an adult woman. Paragraph 5. Children need to form close, trusting bonds with those who raise them and care for them. I'm going to rip this one apart. Such bonds make children feel secure and teach them to trust others who love them. Sadly, abuse most often occurs in the home, and close family members and family friends are common perpetrators. Breaking a child's trust in this way can make it hard for the child to trust others even years later. You Jehovah's Witnesses know, as well as I do, that this organization teaches to put your explicit trust into the elders. How come the elders are not mentioned in this paragraph? The leadership in your organization is not mentioned. All you have to do, Jehovah's Witnesses, is go to the Australian Royal Commission and listen to Jeffrey Jackson. Listen to him having to admit that some of these perpetrators are your trusted elders, ministerial servants, and pioneers. Go ahead.
Well, it's kind of stupid, for that sister to say, oh, well, these are, bad people that work themselves into the organization, and they don't realize that, a lot of these have been witnesses for their whole lives, and they're trusted elders and ministerial servants.
Look, Jehovah's Witnesses, who do you associate with? Who do you associate with? You don't let your children go and play sports. So there isn't a worldly man, having some sort of non-religious contact with your children because you don't allow them to go out into the world. This is bullshit. To sit here and throw all of the blame on the world when you witnesses know damn well, like I do, that you don't associate with the world because that's Satan's world. That's Satan's system. The problem is that you guys, you Jehovah's Witnesses, cannot admit among yourselves that this problem stems within your own organization. You don't go down to the YMCA. So the lifeguard isn't abusing your children. You get my point? It's coming from within your own ranks. And it's shameful and it's pathetic that your organization does not put the ones that are truly responsible for these heinous acts as being your own elders in your own church. Because you know, and I reiterate and state for emphasis, you're taught to put your trust in the elders, and it's these men that you're letting into your house that are abusing your children. It's disgusting. I'm going to jump up to paragraph 7. Children are not fully developed in their ability to think, to reason, or to recognize and avoid danger. So it is all too easy for devious abusers to deceive children. Again, trust your elders. After all, they're the shepherds looking after your souls. Oh, brother so-and-so, I have my 7-year-old child is having problems in school. Can you come over and talk to him? And then it happens. Abusers teach children dangerous lies. Yeah, a dangerous lie is this: trust the elders. Trust the elders. That's the dangerous lie. Such as the idea that the child is to blame. Really? Watchtower? The internet is full of secretly recorded judicial hearings where people are stating in their meetings that the elders are blaming the woman because they're dressed too provocatively. Well, it must be your fault because look at the way you dressed.
Well, if I remember right, wasn't there a abuse survivor that testified during the Australian Royal Commission
There you go.
as a child, and they accused her of seducing the perpetrator?
Exactly.
How can a child possibly know
Well,
anything about that?
the article says that, children, they don't know anything about sex. So how can they be the ones seducing an adult male? You frigging idiots, Watchtower, for printing such garbage as this.
I think that if that study article yesterday is causing so much dissension in congregations, I think this one here is gonna open a whole can of worms. And I think some that I've talked to said that they actually thought that there was gonna be a big, to-do or argument during their Watchtower study.
There needs to be. There needs to be. Okay? Such as the idea that the child is to blame, that the abuse must be kept secret. And it is kept secret. It's been kept secret for decades. Because if you go to the police with this, we're going to have to disfellowship you because you're causing dissension among Jehovah's clean organization. We've heard it all in the 7 years that we've been doing this, friends. Jehovah's Witnesses, we've heard it all. Yeah, right. That no one will listen or care if the child reports the abuse. And isn't that what we're hearing? They don't care. They don't give a crap whether you've been abused or not. They just want you to keep your friggin' mouth shut so that you don't bring reproach on Jehovah's organization. This is just crap. Okay? Or that sexual acts between an adult and child are actually normal expressions of sincere love. Give me a frickin' break. See? These are all the excuses that your child is told either before or after they're abused. And why does Watchtower know this? Oh, because they've been the ones doing it. They know all the tricks of the trade. Such lies can distort a child's thinking ability and perception of truth for many years. Such a child may grow up thinking of herself or himself as damaged, no kidding, defiled, and unworthy of love or comfort. You think, Watchtower? You think? This is why you got a plague. Because you keep sidestepping the issue. You keep sidestepping it. For crying out loud, when you get your audience ready to talk and discuss, you got some jackass Kobe. Calm down, everybody. Don't use this as an excuse to start bashing Jehovah's organization. This is the time you friends need to speak up. Because you're never going to have a better opportunity. And if it causes divisions, then let it cause divisions. Because you know what? Watchtower's running out of money faster than you can even shake a stick at anything. My goodness. Now.
Well, just like we just read at the beginning, they're going to the Supreme Court to appeal that $4 million, lawsuit bill from California.
That's right. Jehovah isn't with this organization, because if you Jehovah's Witnesses continue to think that Jehovah is blessing this, you cannot be any further from the truth, because God cannot bless criminal activity. God cannot bless lying. God cannot bless you with giving sand out of a storm and then let your organization hide child abuse for decades. Wake up. Paragraph 8. This is a biggie, Jehovah's Witnesses. Pay close attention. It is not surprising then that sexual abuse can cause lasting harm. How evil this crime is! Exclamation point.
Then why don't you report it? If it's such a damaging, evil crime, then why don't you report it?
Look, this is your theology that's being torn down. Because when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I was told that if you see your brother or sister committing a sin and you don't report it, you're going to become a sharer in that sin. So for instance, you're out late one night, you're driving down, you're going past Bates Motel, and you see your brother come out of that hotel room with a woman other than his wife, and if you don't tell that, if you don't confess that sin, you share in that sin. Well, think about this. Your organization has been hiding the crime of child abuse for decades.
So they're sharing in their sin.
You're sharing in that sin. That makes you an accomplice to that sin. But look how hypocritical this article is compared to the other one, because in the other article, the sin of child abuse. Oh, the crime of child abuse. Oh, it's a sin. The previous article went back and forth as to whether child sexual abuse was a sin or a crime. Now with an exclamation point. How evil this crime is. You guys, you Jehovah's Witnesses, are doing nothing but keeping evil men at the helm. That's all you're doing. Going on. Such widespread abuse is clear evidence that we are living in the last days, a time when many have no natural affection, when wicked men and impostors will advance from bad to worse.
See, it was prophesied.
Going back to that JW woman that Kim and I crashed the cart on, that said this was prophesied, this was prophesied. You Jehovah's Witnesses don't understand how you have been manipulated to fulfill Scripture. Because when that JW woman that Kim wanted to slap, she had no natural affection for child abuse. No natural affection. It was all apostate lies. And in fact, you guys want something else? This is for the ex-Jehovah's Witness community that are the PMOs. If you have the intestinal fortitude, raise your hand. Find a paragraph where it's appropriate and raise your hand and remind everybody several years ago when Barbara Anderson did that, was the Dateline?
2002.
2002, the Dateline interview. We was at a district convention when the announcement was made that that program was going to air that night and not to watch it because it was apostate-generated lies. Apostates ain't lying, PMOs, Jehovah's Witnesses. So if somebody can remind the audience of what Barbara Anderson did by taking on that interview, it just may go a long way in helping others recognize just how far back this problem goes.
I just noticed a sentence here in the middle of paragraph 8, about halfway down. Satan's designs are truly evil, and it is sad when humans act in a way that pleases the devil. However, Jehovah is far stronger than Satan or his servants. Well, if Jehovah is far stronger, then why is there a plague of child abuse in this organization? So that tells me that Jehovah is doing nothing to help your organization with this little problem. No wonder you have to take it to the Supreme Court, because Jehovah has left you. He's abandoned you.
Exactly. Wow, Jehovah is far stronger. Yeah, see, Jehovah can cause sand to come out of
You
a storm
spilled your
at sea.
beer
I
on
know.
our article.
I know. So Jehovah can cause sand to come out of a storm at sea to build the kingdom hall, but he's impotent when it comes to stopping child abuse.
I was just going to mention, all of your comments are great underneath that video, because several people have said that sand ended up having too much salt in it,
Yeah.
and it could not have been used for building the Kingdom Hall. So
Yeah.
that was a lie in their broadcast right then and there.
Exactly. See,
But they
it's
play on the emotions.
oh yeah. See, it's no different. It's no different than what the ancient Israelites were trying to convince themselves that Jehovah was backing them and blessing them. It's no different. It's just lies, straight across the board.
We can be sure that Jehovah is fully aware of the pain we experience, and he can provide the comfort we need. No, he's not.
No.
No, he's not.
We are blessed to serve the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our... Come on! Put your hand up and say, wait a minute. I was shut down. I was trying to get comfort by making a public statement, and the mic handler took the mic right out of my hand. Or the guy at the control booth turned the mic off so I couldn't get my... Oh my God. These people are the epitome of evil writing this crap. See, but you Jehovah's Witnesses that just love this organization, my mother included, is going to think, oh, don't you just love Jehovah at this point? Give me a break. Wow. Going on. Who can provide comfort? Paragraph 9. Those who have been abandoned by parents or victimized by people close to them may especially need comfort. Stop right there.
What about everybody being shunned by their parents and family?
No natural affection. If you're a Jehovah's Witness out there shunning your children, then you are the perpetrators of abuse, only on another plane, on another level, because you are taught to abuse your family members if they leave Jehovah's organization.
So every single Jehovah's Witness, in my humble opinion, that is shunning a family member because they left or were disfellowshipped or disassociated themselves, then they are abandoning their family member. My mother, his mother, everybody who has had family members, they've abandoned us. They've victimized us.
No natural affection. You all remember the district convention a few years back with, the young girl fell in love with a worldly person and they got romantically involved. She got disfellowshipped, and it appears years later she tried to call mommy, who was, doing something at the kitchen, some mundane thing at the kitchen, and her little cell phone rings and she flips it up and she recognizes her daughter and she closes the phone. You are responsible for perpetrating this abuse among your own family members. And here's the darkness. This is how deep this goes. For every one of you Jehovah's Witnesses that are shunning your family, if that family member commits suicide, you are personally responsible, because you are fulfilling the scriptures that say, and in the time of the end there'll be no natural affection. That scripture was written specifically for the Jehovah's Witnesses that will not get out of this bullshit organization and learn how to be a naturalized human being. Your organization is screwing with your minds. Every Jehovah's Witness that practices shunning, you are abandoning your family. You are also the abusers. So there, let's read that part again. Those who have been abandoned by parents or victimized by people close to them may especially need comfort. Where does the comfort come to those that you, Jehovah's Witnesses, have abandoned because of your shunning policy? It's disgusting. All right, going on to paragraph 10, the last sentence, talking about being loyal now to Jehovah's congregation. Loyal elders today can likewise use tender, gentle words as they offer scriptural comfort for those in need.
Wow.
If you Jehovah's Witnesses cannot recognize the bullshit in that statement, you are beyond help. It's just as simple as that. I know, because I was just like you for 42 years, thinking that you were going to get comfort. Hell, even when my own father passed away, my mother broke down in tears and cried because the elders weren't there to comfort the widow. How many of you, let's put your comments in the comment section below this video, how many of you have lost family members due to death and the elders weren't there to comfort? If they're not there to comfort you in the loss of a loved one, what, and pray tell, makes you think they're going to be there to comfort you when you've been a victim of child sexual abuse? They don't know how to do it because they're not trained. They're not trained for that.
Well, we've heard many times in the past that if they find out, that you have been abused, sometimes they just won't talk to you at all. They just kind of like abandon you.
Yes.
You know, and you keep talking to them saying, look, what are you going to do about this? And it's like, yeah, well, let's have a meeting with the perpetrator, and nothing gets done. Nothing.
Paragraph 12. Are elders the only ones who can give comfort to victims of abuse? No! All of us have a responsibility to keep comforting one another. Mature Christian sisters can be especially encouraging to sisters in need of comfort. Fittingly, Jehovah God likened himself to a mother who comforts her son. Wait a minute. You Jehovah's Witnesses didn't catch that when studying this, and you're not going to catch it either. Your mother isn't Jehovah. It's the organization. We put videos on our YouTube channel where you've been trying to be indoctrinated that, oh, look, you need to turn to mother. Well, whose mother? Well, it's the organization.
They have Isaiah 66:13, and Jehovah God likens himself to a mother. Interesting, especially when, the research we've been doing that...
Go ahead, say it. Say it.
It could be Sophia.
It could be Sophia. The book of Proverbs says, be wise, my son, and listen to the voice of your mother. That is not talking about human relationships. That's talking about the mother of wisdom, the universal goddess of wisdom. So, Monica, I hope you enjoy reading your book, When God Was a Woman. Because if you do your study, if you do your research like you should be doing, you will readily recognize in the Judeo-Christian Bible when astrology is being referred to, when the goddesses are being referred to, and you will also recognize that Jehovah is a little g. But that's only done with proper research. And you made a point this morning as to the couple of this paragraph 12, just actually paragraph
11?
Paragraph 11, yeah, paragraph 11. That was what I was reading, paragraph 11. Because when Watchtower is making mention to that mature Christians can also help.
Sisters
can help. Okay? How delighted Jehovah is to see Christian women today. Today. Junior. Today, offering comfort to fellow sisters who struggle with emotional pain.
You know why they put that in there? Like I said this morning, because of the Australian Royal Commission. They got hammered for not having any women to comfort, these
Women.
survivors. So they got
So-
hammered for that because it was male elders.
That's right. So is paragraph 11 a direct reflection of the Australian Royal Commission? If you're
I think that's what we've been seeing for the past year. A lot of these changes that they have been making is trying to get in line with what they've been criticized for not doing.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I want you Jehovah's Witnesses to pay particular attention to the next sentence in the same paragraph, number 11. In some cases, an elder or two may discreetly ask a mature sister if she is in a position to help a suffering sister in that way. Asterisk, which reads, whether an individual who has suffered abuse should seek qualified professional help is a personal decision. Now see, years ago, we were all indoctrinated with, don't go get any psychiatric help because they're going to screw with your mind. Right? Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses? This is what they preached years ago. You don't want to go seek professional help because they're going to pull you out of Jehovah's organization. What the hell do you think the professionals today are going to do when they get a Jehovah Witness that's a victim of child sexual abuse? What do you think they're going to tell those people? You need to leave your organization. And you know why I know that, Jehovah's Witnesses and Watchtower? Because those that have sought this type of professional help email us, and they're telling us that these professionals are telling them to get away from this abusive relationship. It's no different than having an abusive relationship between a man and a woman, whether the man makes it abusive on the woman or the woman makes it abusive on the man. You're all encouraged to get out of the abusive relationship.
Well, when I talked to their, therapists, asked them, well, why are you still in that
Yeah,
organization then? Why haven't you reported it to the police?
Okay, going on to paragraph 14, about midway down. If we want to offer comfort to victims of abuse, we may need first to help them feel safe. Really?
Wow.
Make them feel safe? How can you make a victim of child sexual abuse feel safe when you're told that it was an elder who they put all their trust in, who they are told to feel safe, is the perpetrator? How do you make them feel safe? This article is crap because they're telling unqualified people to help people with this child sexual abuse. Do you understand the liabilities that this organization is putting some of you people in if you accept this assignment? That makes you responsible.
Can you imagine how horrible a sister would feel if she's trying to help a younger woman who has been abused and that younger woman ends up committing suicide? The liability is horrendous. I mean, this is really stupid. It really is.
Well, there again, whoever said that the writers of these articles were smart, intelligent, college people?
Yeah.
No, window washers and janitors.
Well, I mean, even us, those who have left, we try to offer love and support and friendship the best we can. But, a lot of times I will say, well, maybe, you should seek some professional therapy.
That's exactly
because
what.
I don't want the liability myself. So, in that position, I'm thinking, boy, this is really stupid because, like, if an elder's wife or a pioneer, gets involved in this, and, I mean, all kinds of scenarios are coming in my head here.
Exactly. Exactly. But hey, let's just continue on with this cover your ass Watchtower article. Help them feel safe. For instance, elders should keep in mind that a distressed sister may feel safer and more comforting having a cup of coffee, or let's just turn the tables around, because we all saw the, oh, thank you, Jehovah. When this little comfort session is done, Jehovah's Witnesses, don't forget to get off the chair and go make cookies. This is just, oh my goodness, I can't believe that Watchtower has had the tenacity to print this crap.
Should have heard him this morning when he read it. Yeah, more comfortable having a cup of tea in a relaxed setting at home than she would in a Kingdom Hall conference room.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Another might feel the opposite. Wow.
Wait a minute. You were told to put all your trust in the elder body, and then you're going to have an elder come to your house, an elder or two come to your house and offer comfort in private? Do you see how ridiculous that is? No. Take Watchtower's sound advice.
Wow.
Take Watchtower's sound advice and go seek professional help. Because that's the only way you're ever going to get help. You're not going to get it sitting in this Kingdom Hall parroting the nonsense. Because you're not qualified to do it any more than Kim and I are qualified. That's like what Kim said. There just comes a point where we tell some of you friends, you need to go get help. Okay? And that's what you need to do. Now I'm going on to paragraph 17. Paragraph 16. All right, I'm going to go to 16. How can we show sympathy and tender compassion? Oh, you mean like not turning your back and folding your arms when someone's trying to express to you, Jehovah's Witnesses, the problem, the plague that's infesting you? Look, you can't escape a plague. You can't escape it.
Or the Kobe shutting everybody down and say, oh, now we need to be careful with our comments and not to say anything negative against the organization. You're just shutting people down who are trying to express their true feelings about this. Some Jehovah's Witnesses are really upset about these articles and they want to express their opinion. And guess what? They have nobody to talk to. Guess who they're contacting?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, Watchtower. So just keep printing these dumbass articles, because all you're doing is chasing your own members away because they're smart this day, because the internet is destroying you.
And just keep having your elders and Kobe's shutting them down and shutting their comments down, grabbing microphones out of their hands and everything else.
Yeah. So let's ask that question again. How can we show sympathy and tender compassion, which are expressions while listening? At times, a few tactful, warm words may show how we feel. You might say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. No child should be treated that way. And that's exactly what that brother said to Kim and I when we crashed that cart last weekend. But the woman turned her back. She was callous. She's fulfilling the scripture that says, and in the last days, no natural affection. Okay, going on to paragraph 17. The last sentence structure. It asks the question, the lesson. Sometimes distressed ones need to pour out their heart more than once. Like Jehovah, we want to listen patiently. Like Jehovah listens patiently? When has this organization ever reflected Jehovah's quality of patience. Look, either you shut up, or we're going to have to disfellowship you because you're causing dissensions. Look, brothers, I'm not going to be in town to go to my judicial hearing, so can we reschedule this? Nope, we can appreciate that everybody's busy. Be here or else. Where is Jehovah's patience in all of this? It doesn't exist, Jehovah's Witnesses.
What about the young blind sister who can't get the new silver Bible in the Braille, and they're like, well, you have to try to use it anyway. You can't use the old one. Where's the compassion to her?
There is none.
The older sister that didn't want to use a new silver shank because she doesn't like that Bible. She likes the old one.
Yeah.
And the elders haul her in the back room and threaten her and tell her that she has to use it or else. Where's the compassion in even such a little tiny thing like that?
Yeah. So I'm going to reflect on that video that Kim's going to put a link down below. I'm going to reread that. Sometimes distressed ones need to pour out their heart more than once. Like Jehovah, we want to listen patiently. Rather than trying to provide solutions, we offer sympathy and tender compassion. No, you do offer solutions, because I guarantee you, during this Watchtower study, if somebody puts up their hand and they start making a comment that you Kobe's, you jackasses don't like, you're going to have the mics pulled out of their hand. That's Jehovah's patience, friends. That's Jehovah's patience, because Jehovah has no patience for you people talking about child sexual abuse in an open public forum. Oh, no, that's never going to happen. Why? Because they only allow, 45 minutes for a Watchtower study? Oh, we can't possibly cover all of this in 45 minutes, so sit down there, shut up, and just parrot the questions that you've underlined in the paragraph, like you've been taught to do. I get the program, Watchtower. 42 years of just, oh, look, honey, look, I'm going to answer the question, why should we be patient and slow to speak? Paragraph 17. Why? Because it shows sympathy. Oh, what a lovely comment, Brother Brooks. I really loved your comments. There is no comment, because all you're doing is reading directly from the paragraph. That's all you're doing, Jehovah's Witnesses, because you cannot recognize that when you join this religion, your voice, who you are as a sovereign human being, has been taken away from you. And it's all done in the name of God.
In summary, there's so many things wrong with this study article that it was like, wow, it just jumped out at us.
The last paragraph, towards the bottom. Moreover, how comforting it is to know that Jehovah will permanently heal all those who have been abused by Satan and his world. Really? You're deflecting this onto Satan and his world? The problem is in your organization, just like it's in the Catholic Church, just like it's in the Mormon Church, just like it's in the Baptist Church, just like it's in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's not just Satan's world. So own it, Watchtower. Own it. You already admitted that it's a plague. But now, so skillfully, you deflect everything back onto Satan's world. And guess what? The only thing that you Jehovah's Witnesses are ever going to remember about this Watchtower study is that this is Satan's world causing all this child abuse.
Well, like that JW we talked to Saturday, you know, when she started in the Catholic Church, and oh, well, they're a false religion.
Jesus.
And it's like, okay. And the guy said, well, you're dealing with imperfect men. Well, aren't you dealing with imperfect men with the Catholic Church then? They couldn't answer that. They didn't say anything.
Exactly. They couldn't answer the rebuttal because they don't know how to do it no more, because Unfortunately, for the Jehovah's Witness today, those of us that have got the years of experience being taught by Watchtower how to conduct argumentation, how to deflect, how to use a straw man argument, how to throw in a red herring. This is all now being turned back on Watchtower, and they can't handle it. That's why these Jehovah's Witnesses at their little literature carts pack up and leave, because they're not being taught how to deal with this. And this is why this ex-Jehovah's Witness community is such a threat to Watchtower, and we are having our effect. Make no mistake about it, friends. We are having our effect against this Watchtower Babble Crap society.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching our videos this past week and all the wonderful comments. Some of you are so funny.
In the rant.
Yeah. And thank you so much for your cards and letters and the phone calls and the emails. My goodness, I'm going to be busy. And I've been sent some more meetings and talks and stuff, so I'm hoping to get those up as soon as possible. I was hoping to finish January's emails, but it looks like with these talks and stuff, I'll concentrate on those first.
Well, not only that, dear, we did a video Friday morning that you haven't even edited yet because these other two videos have gotten in the way.
Yeah, I've got some videos now that I haven't even edited yet, so there's only one of me and there's only so much hours in the day.
Yep. Life does get in the way from time to time.
Yep. And our daughter's birthday is this weekend, so
yes,
we're going to be busy with that.
Hey, she wasn't supposed to reach this age in this system of things. That was prophesied.
Yeah.
We wouldn't grow old in this system. That was prophesied.
Yeah.
I can't help but laugh.
And I want to say, on a very sad note, we want to offer our condolences to Philip Deleshi and his family.
Yes.
We are so sorry for the loss of your child.
It's heartbreaking.
Yes.
It is. And then to stop and think that every Jehovah's Witness out there that's shunning a family member, you're doing the same thing. You're breaking hearts.
Yeah.
You're breaking your children's heart, and you are the perpetrators of this abuse also.
So just know that our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and for anybody else who has, lost family members or children or anyone, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And we know this month is also the Watchtower Victims Memorial Day, which always reminds us of those who have committed suicide.
Yes, your brother included.
Like my little brother. That June 7th is always a rough day for me because that's his birthday, and I believe he committed suicide June 3rd. So it's always a rough week for me, but anyway, just know that I do understand losing a loved one to suicide and how horrific it is.
Yeah, so please don't be afraid to go over there and cry with Philip. Don't be afraid to cry with Philip.
Yes.
Love you, brother.
So you all have a great week, and we love you.
Bye.
Bye.